What is up, you guys? I bet you're wondering what I'm doing riding around going into the middle of the woods, and I will explain that when I get to the spot. But the way I'm actually getting to the spot is this new ENGWE e-bike, and that's who this video is sponsored by. This is a foldable electric bike, and it actually fits in the trunk of a car, and this thing is under $1,000. I've already taken this thing on a couple adventures, and it does the job really well. You can see I'm carrying this electric battery pack, but that will be used a little bit later in the video. We are gonna get into some diving. I'll see you guys back at the spot. All right, you guys, I found the perfect little nook out here in the middle of nowhere. We have, it's down a little road, but I love getting out here in this beautiful area. And look at this little e-bike, ready to rock and roll. And that is a little present I got in store for you guys, so do not go anywhere. Now, I bet you guys are wondering how I'm gonna do some cooking out here. Well, let me show you. I have this little electric skillet, and it has this little adapter that plugs into it, and all you need is a 120 volt, and that's what that battery pack is for. So let's get to cooking. All right, moment of truth. Got everything plugged in, got this thing turned on. That's what it's drawing. Time to turn up the power. Oh yeah, it's jumping up. Sweet. All right, that's good. And we'll go ahead and put it up to, say, 300. I can already feel it getting warm. Nice. All right, you guys, so what we have is 3 different things: some black grouper, African pompano, some Cubera snapper. And what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna give you instance and rundowns as I'm cooking this of every one of those species. Whatever fish I end up cooking is the fish that I'm gonna roll some footage on, so don't go anywhere, and we're gonna get into some underwater action right after I do a little bit of cooking. Guys, I'm keeping it extra simple today. Just got some paper plates, paper towels, and a Ziploc bag full of some seasonings, and the main and most beautiful ingredient I have is right here. Some fresh organic butter. And that is what we're gonna blacken everything with. You all know I love the blackening flavoring. I love the spice, and it is honestly my go-to when it comes to cooking. And it starts right here with the first perfect ingredient, and that's the butter. Get the stick, and it's time to lather the pan up with this. Just lather that sucker up. And then what we will do is I will, based on some different seasonings. Oh no, I forgot a spatula. God dang it. I just realized. It's all right, I'll make do. I'll find some sticks or something. But look at this beautifulness. Just lather that up, set that aside, and then let's pull out that first fish. We are starting off with the Cubera. Beautiful little snapper fillet. I'm gonna go ahead and lather plenty of seasoning, and let me show you this sizzle when it happens. Check this out. Sizzle, baby. Look at that. And I'm gonna go ahead, put a little bit of butter on the other side. Get some of this. Lather up some butter on this side, and I'm gonna do some seasonings on that side. And right now, while I do that and let that cook, we're gonna roll on some clips of me smoking a Cubera. So let's check it out. Bro, there's a big Cubera around. And this fish actually led to something pretty amazing. We decided to gut it, and we're drifting off into the deeper area, probably like between 65, 70 feet. And you see all these guts going mid-water column. There was a big Cubera that came up. You can see it kind of off on the bottom of the screen going back down to the depth. And these guys, I usually don't pay them any attention because they're so smart and know that a predator, like if you have intent to kill, they usually are gone. So I don't even pursue towards the fish. I actually just go towards the bottom. And something different that I try is I start banging my elbow on my pole spear. And I know one thing about Cuberas, they're very curious, but if you get excited and go towards them too fast, they usually dart or just stay just out of range. So I decided to kind of not pursue the actual Cubera. He didn't spook, so I was like, you know, I'm just going to descend to the bottom. And I just start banging, doing some grunting, nothing hardcore because I don't want to like overdo it. And I'm thinking right now, oh wow, this thing's actually going to give me a shot.
and I know he's probably gonna bolt any second, so I let it rip, and when I get on the boat, you'll see where this thing actually landed. But I grab my line and I keep him just out of the reef, not enough to where I rip the spear out, but I let him run, letting my belt reel out until he gets right to the reef. Then I give him just enough juice to turn him away from the reef, and then he just keeps doing that over and over again. And this is something important. Jake comes down, I hold up the 2 to saying I need a second shot, and he went to grab my line, but I hit his hand away and made a grunt, which he played it perfectly, knowing that don't put pressure on the fish.
I just need to keep him off the bottom.
And he knew exactly what I needed.
I can't put a ton of pressure on him. Just get my Hawaiian sling or something.
Just that little bit of body language and that little bit of grunting and letting him know what the scenario was. He kind of figured, all right, it must be like a iffy shot, especially with these pole spears. To get a good shot on these Cooberas is really tough. But he knew exactly what was going on, and I just keep babying this guy because right now he's not fighting too hard. I'm just slowly pull him up. If he gave a couple of tail kicks, I just let him have the slack, and I'm just waiting to get another sling or pole spear just so we can secure a shot all the way through the fish, and I'll be able to hold the fish mid-water here until we get a shot, and he won't go down all the way to the reef. And Jake makes a dive right here, but the fish looked like it was going to keep going down, so he just decided to take a really good breath.
Hold on. Yeah. He's chill. Just wait. No rush. Can you see that from the surface?
And you hear that we're not too...
It's a big Coobera.
We're not too worried. We're not rushing. The fish is pretty much spent. And all we need to do is just get this next spear securely in him, and then we know we got this fish for sure.
Yo! You fucking snapjack! Oh my god!
Don't give a hand to skills. Oh, I don't have them yet. We will eventually. Follow me, brain them.
Those of you who ever wonder what's inside of a Coobera, I did gut him, and here's his stomach, and it's just a bunch of chopped up lobster. So there's a little telltale for you if you ever want to try to catch one on a hook.
Shot him at 65.
Dude, I can't believe you got up to that thing. I thought he took off when you started.
Nah, I just didn't move, and I started banging into my pole spear to like pique his curiosity.
You came back?
Yeah, I came back. Is your GoPro off? Is it dead?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, damn.
I know, bro. I'm sorry.
Hey, grab that GoPro stick. Nice.
Legend.
Grab at the gill. You got him? Yep. Go ahead. Nice. Just pull everything in with it. You bent my injector rod. You see that thing? It's bent. There you go. Just toss him down. I'll take care of him. Woo! Dude, that was awesome.
That was legendary, Jack. Great job, bro. That was such a dive.
All right, so this is what we come out here for. Beautiful, beautiful Coobera. These things never give you the shot, and this guy came all the way up off like the deeper edge of the reef, came all the way up to like 40, and then Jake grunted. He was out of commission because he just shot that dog snapper and his like line was all torqued up. But I just descended and I started like getting, he wasn't spooked, but he was just hanging out at the bottom, and I know how they do normally, they just keep out of distance. I started going down and I started banging onto my pole spear, like with my arm. And it kind of like, he went away when I stopped and I was grunting nothing. And then I started banging on my pole spear again with my elbow, and he kind of came in And sure enough, he like came right in, and I kind of chased him a little bit, and he went to turn, and I just ripped it. And I was holding on by like, this is where the shot was. It literally was held on right here, and then came out right here. Like in here and out there.
Light, you can't see it.
Here, yeah, it literally came in here and came out in the gills. So it was held on, I mean, this bone, it was holding it, but knowing these things, they have so much power, they could easily like break that. So I was working him just enough to keep him off the bottom and to where I could get up to the surface. And once he was down there, I knew sharks weren't really gonna mess with him because he's kind of too big. And then we waited for another pole spear and Jake got the shot in. Good job, dude.
Hey man, you did a good job, bro. Look at that stud.
What do you think?
One tooth wonder right there, dude.
Oh, dude, you got a snaggle tooth. That'd be a cool mount. What do you think, JD? Is that a good birthday fish?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I got you this for your birthday. Do you like
Jack.
it?
That's a gift and a half right there, dude.
Dude, that's awesome, man. It's a big one I've gotten in a little while. It's good stuff. No, like 60 pounder. What do you think? That's like 30 maybe?
I don't know. That's a stud fish there, regardless,
Thanks,
bro.
dude.
Stud.
That's awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Love getting after cuberas. They're very tough, and I hope you enjoy the voiceovers and that. But next fish is going to be African pompano. Check the whiteness of this meat out. And we're gonna do the exact same thing, except, so this first one was just some Cajun rub rack blackening seasoning. I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. And then this one I did a little collaboration with is Dano's seasoning. So I'm just gonna do everything different. The seasonings are definitely, you know, in the same category as spice and all that goodness, but just gonna give everything a little different taste. And here we go. African pompano going right next to the cubera. Nice and perfect like that. And you can see what I did where I just seasoned the other side. Gonna go ahead, lather some butter up, put it on top of the AP, and while I let this sucker cook, let's roll on some footage of me smoking some African pompanos. You. AP.
This was an adventure that took place over in the Bahamas, and you'll see again me using the pole spear. And this water is crystal clear. It was some winter weather, and this was the first set of APs that came rolling through. They kind of cruised in, took off, and I just let the other divers know that there were APs around, chucked my little throw flasher, and just made a drop. And I was grunting so hard trying to get this fish to come in, and that's really the best way to do it. Just go mid-water column, do a lot of grunting, try to pique the curiosity, and I'm just sitting there hoping that this thing turns around. And there were actually two of them. And sure enough, they flip completely 180, head straight for me, and boy, do they look beautiful in the water. Look at these things, look at the color, and now I got to line up for the shot. Now I'm using that Headhunter Nomad with the slip tip, so I went over, grabbed my throw flasher, and I have it attached to a belt reel, so I'm able to let out enough line for me to get to the surface, also while keeping it out of the reef so it doesn't get hung up and he tries to tear out. And I'm holding him just enough off the bottom so we can get another spear in the fish. Now that I have the fish, I'm going ahead and kicking and pulling the line in at the same time. So it kind of tries to stay, the line tries to stay a little free of me. Not so I'm just pulling it all into myself. My dive buddy John makes a drop. I hold the fish in one position so he can get another backup shot, and he lands the perfect backup shot through the gills, through the head, stone shot. We are stoked on this fish. This is like one of the first fish of this trip too. So we were absolutely pumped up.
Yes!
Wow, Nathan hit the other one.
Did
he get the other one? He hit it, but he didn't get it.
Bummer! Look at that, Michelle. Woo! Pumped. A pole spear, stud AP. I think this is my, this is my second or third AP on pole spear. This is epic. So that was wild. I saw like the tail end of this guy go taking off. I didn't know if he was alone or not, but I just saw him and I was like, that's a big AP. So I told the guys AP, and I threw my flashers, and I just went down mid-water column and I just started grunting super hard. These things, there were 2 of them, they literally took a beeline, flipped around, went straight to me, and you saw it on the video. I just sat there mid-water column, waited, and he just turned perfectly, and I just gave it that little gas and just let him have it. Epic backup shot by Johnny Boy, and dude, solid first fish of the day. Epic, yes! All right, welcome back. That, honestly, APs are probably one of my top most fun fish to hunt because they're just so beautiful in the water. And they're one of those things where if you show them a little interest, they want nothing to do with you. And if you pay no attention to them all, they'll literally swim right up to you. But sometimes you have to have some skill and luck combined, and then you get some AP, and we're gonna indulge in that in just a minute. But the next fish, I have a little space on the pan for this, is black grouper. Look at the thickness of this. So what I'm gonna do to cook this, you see how thick it is? We're gonna have to cut it a little bit quicker, and it cooks a little more even. Otherwise it takes way too long to cook. But this is what we got. Beautiful, beautiful white meat. And this is gonna, same process. Just some garlic and herbs, multi-purpose seasoning. Just gonna give something a different try. Sprinkle this stuff on there. Gonna cook it the same exact way as the other fish. And just, ready? We're waiting for it. Slapping it on, like that. And then I'm just gonna go ahead, get some butter, melt it a little bit, put it on it, and then just run some seasonings over it again. Get into that black grouper, totally different fish than the other ones you've seen. So cue the voiceovers and let's get underwater.
Now we jump into an area in a different terrain, and once we hit the water, look at these black grouper just greeting us at the edge of this big coral head. Now we're not in a dire rush to pursue them. We know they're gonna rock up somewhere here, and then step 2 is gonna be to find out where they are and try to get one of our pole spear in them.
What do you say? What do you say about this spot?
Big black.
2 of them.
Now we've done multiple dives up to this point. We searched around, and this is one of the dives that we do, and you can hold your breath with me to, you know, kind of test your skills. And one of the dive lights I'm rocking is just a, you know, kind of cheap one that I got off Mako spear guns. I took it off of my wrist strap, and I'm just using it to kind of poke around, look in these holes, try to figure out where this fish is. And I know he's in here somewhere because whenever I stick my head in, I can hear him. And I think right here I might see his fins, his dorsal fins, but there's no way I could get a spear in this direction. So I checked this other hole on top. There was no way he could. I've done probably maybe 20 dives up to this point, and he just sits back in this deep cave where you can't get a spear in him. But this is the main cave where you can actually see it. You go around the corner here, you look back there, that's the direction he went. And he goes in there and he goes to the complete opposite side of the reef. And we decide to come up with a game plan. Ryan and I finally figure out where this fish is going. He's like shifting back and forth from this hole, and we have a good game plan, and I'll explain it whenever I make this next drop.
It's got a good cave.
So here's one of the dives. I try to get to him from this smaller hole, but like I said, I almost can. I go in here and I go to try to see, you know, the dorsal part of his fins. I'm trying to just put a shaft in him to where he might, you know, go to an easier hole to extract him from. But as I go in here, he just disappears, and he goes actually back over to that really big deep opening that I showed on that previous clip at the end. And he just goes back and forth, like I said, back and forth from these one side of the cave to the other, and he almost has us beat. But like I said, Ryan and I go to the surface, we come up with a game plan, and this hole that I'm at right now, Brian decides to go there and make a lot of noise and try to push him to the big opening where I'd be able to get a shot. So I'm at the surface, I'm paying attention to Ryan, he's gonna make a drop, and you can hold your breath with me on this one. This is the one when I actually shoot my pole spear. But I'm making sure I have enough surface time, and I have a really good breathe up, make this drop, and I load up my pole spear, have my dive light ready, And as I'm going down, I get ready in this hole, and Ryan is going to go down and get his spear and kind of make a bunch of noise over in the other hole, trying to push the fish out towards this opening. And it works. He's over there making noise right now, and the fish kind of pops his head out, doesn't want to go towards Ryan, so he pops his head out towards me. I kind of blind him with the light, get just close enough, take my time, land a really good shot. And what I'm doing is I'm grabbing the end of my pole spear. You see how I'm not letting him go? I'm just letting him do his thing, fight, let that slip tip engage, and he's just sitting there fighting. And at this point, I don't want him to go farther back in there because I know what happens. So I just grab my spear and I start shimmying my way out. And at this point, my pole spear is disconnected from my belt reel. So I do something here at the end. I'm inching him away from his hole. He can go crazy as he wants, but once he gets way back in that hole, that's whenever he has the advantage. So I keep him out, and what I do is once I get free, I grab my belt reel, I hold on to my pole spear because I don't want to let it go and let him go back up in that hole, and I just keep tension on my pole spear and keep him out away from his safe haven way back in that hole. And I know we're going to get another shot on this fish.
Got him right on the edge. Got him right through the face. Yeah. I got him right on the edge here. I'm holding my spear on the edge. I don't want him to go farther back.
Good communication is really important whenever you're in situations like this. I went to the surface, you heard how much I was talking, and just any amount of detail to paint the picture for the other divers is a good thing. So I told him I kind of kept him out of the hole. Justin went down, put another shot in the fish just to secure him, and at this point I actually detach my belt reel after he shoots this fish because I know he has a really good shot. He actually comes up and tells me he's got him in the head. I drop my belt reel, and now I prep for another dive just to extract this fish. So here I go. I'm totally detached. I know I'm just gonna go down, get a hold of the fish and pull them out, and we end up getting the Sony in the water, so we have even a better perspective, good third person perspective. You can go ahead and hold your breath on me with me on this dive. Start heading down, and this is the hole I want to extract him from, because Justin said the grouper is right there on the edge. So you see right there, if I would have let him get some of that slack, he would have went way up in there. This would have been an absolute nightmare, and total extraction was my dive, spearing him, Justin's back up, and this is my next dive. So it's not like up and down, up and down. We got this fish, got him in my hands, super excited. And yeah, this fish is so lit up. One of my bigger groupers of the summer, and it's been a while since I had a beautiful, beautiful fish like this. We ended up weighing him, and he was close to, I'd say, about 40 pounds, 35 to 40 pounds.
That one made us work for it.
Fish.
Yeah, dude. Woo! Hell yeah. That's my shot, my first shot right there. Woo! That's sick. Hell yeah. Woo! Hell yeah. That's a beautiful, beautiful. He's all lit up.
Let's see some pictures.
Yeah, dude. That's what we're talking about. Look at that. That's where it came out. I shot him right in the side right here. He was kind of quartering towards me in that cave. Dude, I was deep in there. All right, while I let that stuff cook, I need to wash my hands. Gonna head on down to the water. Always an advantage of cooking next to the water, so you actually have an area to wash your hands in case you run into some issues. What tracks do we got here? There's like a little drag. Looks like it may have been a gator or something drug itself out of here. I don't know. I'm going to the water's edge to wash my hands though. Wish me luck. So I did say that I need to figure out a way to flip these guys, and I might figure it out. Let me see what we got. All right, so those who don't know Florida, we have these things called palmettos. And I'm gonna go ahead and just get my knife. I'm gonna cut one. And basically just like sharpen it, and that chops it up. And then, all right, got like that. Let me get another one. And there are plenty of these, so don't think I'm hurting the environment. There are palmettos everywhere in Florida. But yeah, got 2 pieces here. Let's see if I can craft up something. Okay, so I have the palmetto, and the reason you can tell they're palmettos is because they have like sharp little edges, and these are cabbage palms. And so they're definitely different. They look similar because they have the palms, but they have long, thicker branches, and I'm gonna use that as twine to kind of put these together. I might make some pair of tongs or something like that. So we'll see what we get into. Oh, dude, I just got into some serious cockleberries. Look at all these. These are called, also known as hitchhikers, and they stick on you, and they are a pain to get off, and you get them, they get on you everywhere. That sucks. All right, well, these things are gonna have to get flipped sooner than later, so I need to figure out some kind of pair of tongs or something, so we'll see what we fashion up. All right, so I got these, and I kind of used the edges of that stuff to kind of fashion. I got a little pair of tongs. It doesn't open very wide. I might have to figure something out. I might put a chunk in between so I really have a way to put them apart, but or I could just pull them apart and then grab. But I'm also going to make a spatula using the other side of that palmetto, the cabbage palm. And I'm just flattening it out, making a nice little flattened piece. And it's just a lot of fine, thin strokes without going too much where you crack it. But I was not planning on doing this, did not bring the best knife. But we're gonna make the best of the situation. Oh no, too much. Almost got it. Pretty much a little spatula. So I'll just use this to flip, use this to guide, and we're making it happen. And I got a bunch of freaking cockleberries all over me. All right, it is time to at least flip the cubera. Look at this. Ooh, baby, that looks good. Go ahead, make sure you loosen it. Woo! Black grouper, smells lemony. There we go. Phew! I am actually pretty pleasantly surprised with how these things worked. If you ever get in trouble and you have a knife, just fashion up whatever you need and just use sticks around the woods. That's what I did, and look at me now. All right, you guys, it is about that time. Let me grab my handy dandy tongs and spatula. Look at this. Check this out. That's cubera. And this, you know it's ready when you can just punch right through it like that. This is the African pompano. And this grouper is a little thicker, so that's not quite done, but this one, oh baby, it's done. It's done. Whew. I love blackening stuff. So good. Ridiculous. Fortunately, I did bring a fork, and I could have done that. I just thought it would be cooler to fashion up something, but got some fresh lime. I'm gonna squeeze that sucker on everything. And I mean, you can't go wrong just lathering stuff up with lime juice. It just gives it that little extra citrus kick. And let me quickly taste everything, because I want to see what's the best seasoning, what's the best fish. Cubera. Bang. Now you can't go wrong with that. That is freaking delicious. Next one. is gonna be African Pompano. I love the crunch when it gets that crunchy blackening flavor on the backside. Always so good. But here we go, African Pompano. That Dano's has some serious flavor. That is really good. I really like the Dano's, not gonna lie. On the African Pompano, that is so good. Now, it's grouper time. And this was just some all-purpose citrus lemon seasoning. Oh, hot. That's really good too. Honestly, my favorite, they all taste similar, like texture-wise and everything, especially after blackened, but hands down, I think it's got to go African Pompano with that Dano seasoning. I don't know if the seasoning's what did it, but that was pretty good. If you ever get a chance to check out that, and it's seasoning, like S-E-A-S owning, and that was freaking fuego. I'm gonna go ahead and dig into this. You guys, thank you, ENGWE, for sponsoring this video. If you haven't checked those out, in the description below, really affordable e-bike. If you want to get out, get off grid, do stuff like this, highly recommend it. But you guys, I hope you enjoyed this adventure. It was something a little new. If you're new to the channel, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more adventures like this one. And like always, I will see you guys next week for another adventure. Later.